Hello, this is Steve from Beto's Leatherworks, and today's project is this well-worn, lovely pair of Alden shoes. Horsebit Loafers is what they're called. As you can see, he's had, seen better days. Now, the backstory on these shoes is that an employee sent it in for his boss. This was his boss's favorite shoes, and I guess the guy wore them every day. I mean, as you can see, he wore the hell out of them. And then he just kind of threw it aside and not, paid attention to them anymore. So the employee took them and sent them in, and this is what we have now. So we're going to obviously resole them. We're going to do something with the interior right there, clean it, re-dye it, make it look as best as possible. And quick shout out to Trenton and Heath from the Potter and Sons boys in Nashville. I believe they're in Nashville. And they are the ones who referred this customer to me. So I appreciate you guys. All right, let's get started. I'll bet you thought that I was going to mess up my intro, huh? No, sir. I'm awake today. I haven't had my coffee yet, though. First things first, we gotta remove this horse bit. This is a reverse plier. If you squeeze it, it opens it up, unlike the other regular pliers. Now you got to be careful here, because sometimes with these tend to break. And if they break, you're stuck. You have to replace it, and good luck finding a replacement. They're available. Just it's a pain in the ass to find them. Now, the interior shot in this, right? I mean, obviously the guy, that happens with sweat, okay? When the leather gets wet and dry, and unfortunately it dries out if you don't condition it. So, obviously the guy was wearing it without his socks, and his feet were sweating. Yeah, you're saying, ew, that's disgusting. Oh man, that's disgusting, touching your man's shoes with sweaty feet. You know the stuff that your hand touches during the day that you have no idea of what you're touching? At least I know what I'm touching, and get to wash my hands I don't know how many times a day. I think I'm going to replace these inner soles too. Now, I'm not sure if you guys follow a channel called Rose Anvil. He had done something about the Alden Indy. I got him on. Oh, Seiko. And my black belt. Anyway, he basically tore them a new a-hole, And as far as the components of the boot, that it wasn't, it wasn't leather, it was fiberboard, leatherboard, whatever you want to call it. Might want to go check them out. Rose Anvil. I'll see if I can put a link. So to get to his point, I've talked about this for many years. And yes, Alden does use fiberboard, leatherboard, again, whatever you want to call it. Just like with this welt right here. These are Blake stitch shoes, okay? They're not Goodyear welted. This right here is not leather, okay? And as you can see over time, that's what it does when it gets exposed to water and elements. It just kind of falls apart. Now, on the side of Alden, these are, how old are these, It's pretty well abused shoes, So, yes, over time it is going to wear out. And unfortunately, it's the type of material that will kind of break down over time. But most of the manufacturers out there, a lot of them manufacturers do use fiberboard, leatherboard on their shoes, that areas that you can't see most of the time. But with this one, we're going to put a leather welt, a glue-on welt. We're going to keep the same construction. It's going to be Blake stitch. That's not going to change. We're going to put a glue-on welt, JR soles, leather heel base, clean and dye the uppers, and make it look good again. All right, let's continue. Again with the fiberboard, leatherboard. We're going to replace that with leather. This one does have a metal shank we're going to reuse. Now it's riveted on there so it doesn't move. So we're going to do, I just sanded those rivets off. A little hot. Let's mark the two holes where they were. So this way we can do exactly where it was, duplicate it the exact same way. We'll punch some holes there. We'll re-rivet the shank back on. All right, let's continue. Cushion. We put the shank on backwards, so I got to drill those out and reverse the damn thing. Damn it. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, maybe I should have my coffee. You know, I even looked at the shank too before I put it on to see how it goes. And I got sidetracked. Something pulled my attention away. I reversed it. You know, it's like, squirrel. Some of you guys may get that. Some of you may not. Voila! That's better. All right. Now, in order to get to the lining, we need to remove this top piece here. And this is basically called a French binding, okay? The way it's done, you stitch it first, and then you fold it over, and you stitch it again. So in order to get to the lining, which was put in first, and then this piece was put on, we need to basically remove this to get to that worn out area right there. All right, let's continue. These pieces that you're seeing there, the black strip, that's all there for structural support. It's a little nylon strip there so the shoe doesn't change its shape over time. So we're going to keep that there. All right, we are getting there. Lining is done. Now, it said made in USA on the original, but I put recrafted in USA. I didn't have made in USA only, so I think it turned out pretty good. So now we get to start refinishing the uppers, cleaning, re-dyeing them. And once that's done, we'll start putting the welt on and then the soles, heels, and we're almost there. All right, let's continue. Just using a little turpentine here. This is a worn out 300 grit sandpaper. You don't want to scratch the surface too much, just lightly to get the high spots off. You're not going to make it brand new looking, obviously, but this way it kind of smooths out the surface, and once the dye comes on top of it, it'll look much better. This is leather refinish. Now this is just one step that I do before the finished product. Let's call this like a base coat. The trick is prepping the surface. Applying color is the easy part, but prepping the surface is the more difficult. Not difficult, but more time consuming. Now after this one coat, we'll let this dry and have breakfast. And I'll come back and sand it again. And do that a few times until we get a nice smooth surface. Not smooth like brand new, but better than, obviously better than what it was. Just putting a light coat on there. This is a glue-on welt. What we did here. Doesn't really act as structural support. It just gives it a little bit thicker appearance from the side. And it's got that nice little serrated edges there. Not serrated, but you know, that pattern right there. Kind of gives it a finished look. Now we put the sole on, stitch it, heel, and we're done. Let's continue. All right, you all know what time it is. Yes, sir. It's hammer time. A cobbler who doesn't use his hammer often finds himself without business. Then has to go out and look for opportunities, once in a lifetime opportunities to change careers. So use your hammer a lot. We are getting there. Man, what a transformation to what it was to what it is now. Wow. Unbelievable. Not done yet. All right, let's continue. Triple zero steel wool. Just putting the final touches on the horse bit. Or the bit, whatever you want to call it. Most of the time this triple zero steel wool does great wonders on metal. Not all of them, but you know, cleans it up. Sometimes you get your shoes clean, polished. There's a lot of residue on the buckles or whatever. Use this to clean it up, make it nice and shiny again. You can see that. Small details. Oh, Lord. I think I'm getting overwhelmed again with work. It is November 13th, I think, 12th. And I think I'm going to close down for December again. Just to shut down and get my head together. Too much for one person. Just gotta balance things out, you know? A lot of the walk-in customers, they want things done yesterday, and I can't do that. Yesterday, it seemed like everybody that walked through the door, oh, I'm going out of town. Oh, man, I'm going out of town. I need it. I'm like, well, you're going to take it with you then, because I don't have enough time to do it. Can't just stop what I'm doing and take care of your item, unfortunately. You gotta wait just like everybody else is. It's like everybody came through the door. It's like they were in a rush. I'm like, you're in the wrong shop to be rushed. I'm not gonna get rushed. I got a lot of stuff that I gotta catch up on. So I gotta stop taking the stuff that comes through the door. Mail-in work, it's okay. You know, most of the mail-in work are bigger jobs, so I can kind of schedule those, you know. But the problem is this walk-ins, smaller jobs are just taking way too much time. And it's taking me away from the larger pieces that I gotta do. I mean, I know that sounds bad, but hey, it is what it is, man, you know. You got 100 small pieces, then you don't have time to take care of other projects. So I gotta slow that down a little bit. Or just let them know, you know what, it's not going to be done in a week. It's going to be a while. If they don't like it, then it's okay, no hard feelings. Anyway, it is what it is, my brother. All right, I think we are almost at the last leg of this project. We're getting there. Huge transformation from what it was to what it is. All right, I think we are done with this one. Nice and cleaned up. All right, let's continue. All right, we've got the sole stitched on. And the heel base. And we are going to put this dovetail top lift on there. And we are almost done. All right, let's continue. We are done with another project. What a transformation this was from what it was to what it is now. I think the customer will be very happy. It's not just the generic full leather soles and heels. You saw how much detail that went into it with the lining, with the French binding, what else, with the footbed, with the shank being put back together, leather heel bases, leather glue-on welt. So definitely got an upgrade from what it was. All right, well, thanks again. Oh, this was a $600 job, by the way. Thanks again for joining me. I appreciate it. And there's a lot of projects to do. If you've got items with me, please be patient. I'm overwhelmed again, overloaded, and I'm doing my best to get it done one pair, one bag at a time. All right, we'll see you guys again on the next project. Take care.